Meet Steve Gompf, an Arizona artist who makes mixed media works called Televisors. They're fictional machines presented as precursors to televisions. Gompf assembles his televisors by repurposing common objects such as jewelry boxes, curtain finials, doorknobs, lighting fixtures, and drawer pulls. But what may be most fascinating is the fictional world he has created for them to live in. Take a look.
The purpose of the Televisor Museum International is the preservation, restoration, and conservation of vintage devices, historical documents, and materials, together with being a center for the study of archaic image transmission technologies from the televisor era, 1884 to 1928, which is all BS. I'm Steve Gompf, and I go to thrift stores, buy a bunch of crap, and I glue it together and make it look like it is an antique television from the 1800s. And people believe it. Basically, growing up, I was a military brat. So I was born in Puerto Rico, moved to Madrid, then Rome, then Arizona, then to England, then to Missouri, then to Germany, then to Omaha, then to Kansas City, then to here. And I've been here ever since. Here meaning Mesa, Arizona. While my folks and my family was in these different countries, we'd go to a lot of junk stores or flea markets, and my parents were antique collectors, and especially clocks and stuff. So I kind of knew about the different periods of furniture and styles of decorative arts from that experience, so that when I go to these thrift stores and I'll see a little item that I could use parts of to create, a period piece, I'll snag it. I've even used just items around the house. I remember I was building a piece, and of course, not last minute, up to the last minute, I was working on it. I actually used the plate of what I had dinner on the night before. I used that as the lens for the piece. So I'll just look for something that either looks deco or looks Art Nouveau, and kind of use that and put them together to create the pieces. I have an undergraduate degree in photography and a graduate degree in intermedia from Arizona State University. And so I'm a video artist, and this is a way that I can show video in a gallery situation. Been doing art for 30-odd years, and I cannot stop. Televisors is actually the Spanish and French name for television. And in the very beginning of the development of television, especially in England, with John Logie Baird, the Scottish engineer, he built a device that was partially mechanical, and he called his device a televisor. So I just used that name as kind of a historical reference for it. And I've actually, in some of my label information, I'll use actual historical information and kind of slant it a little bit to fit the piece. And sometimes I just totally make it up. I recently had a show called Distant Visions, Apparatus and Ephemera from the Televisor era, 1884 through 1928, which is, 1884 is the first patented television system, Paul Nepkow, a German engineer, to 1928, which is Philo T. Farnsworth's fully electronic version of it. And these devices that I have there, that look like devices, are basically an assembly of objects that I found at thrift stores and put them together. And I put tablets, computer tablets, inside of them, and it looks like they're playing video. And what I've done to make it look like period work is take a bunch of Muybridge stop-action motion shots that he took in the 1890s and recombine them into different scenes. Accompanying the work, they'll have labels next to them that say, that talk about their significance in the development of television, who the inventor was, the country of origin, and a little snippet about that device itself. And people just believe it. They actually believe that they are antiques, and this whole thing actually existed.
It's interesting. People will come in here and they will think it's real televisions, that early form of the television. And that's what Steve is trying to create. He wants to create this fictitious history of the early television. And so when you've got this fun name, Televisor, which actually is a real term, and he's made these creations based off of what his own imagination and what they would have looked like. So you're kind of almost peeking in Steve's head.
I just think that people buy the pieces because they've been fooled by them, and they want to take it home and kind of say that this is an antique, that device, and kind of fool their friends. I was actually installing a piece at somebody's house, and he called me his televisor repairman.
I think Steve is kind of a little bit of a trickster. I think he does like the tongue-in-cheekiness of it, and he wants people to take a closer look at his work, see what's going on there. He's even mentioned to me how he'd love to take it on the Antiques Roadshow and see what they would say at this creation and and see what their expression would be. So I think he kind of likes the fooling value of it, and he likes to also he'll sometimes come in the gallery and be here and hear what the visitors are saying. So I think he kind of wants to hear what they're saying about his work. I think that's an important part of it, an element, how people interact with his work is important to him.
I think it's evolved in that the first time I presented him, I said I collected these devices, and then I decided to come up with this museum that added an extra layer to it and added believability to it, more fake stuff to make it more real. As a layer to the project, I've created a website called Teleseum.org, Teleseum.org. And it's set up as if it was a museum's website. And it's the Televisor Museum International, which the abbreviation TMI, too much information. That's what it is. It's too much information. It presents my work as if this was a legitimate, actual, real museum that collects these devices that really kind of didn't exist. There's a little section that says, on Thursday it's free for senior citizens and for students, and call us for groups more than 10 because docent tours can be arranged, but there's no contact information, there's no address, there's no phone number, there's nothing but that page on the internet. As another layer to the project or to the artwork of it, I decided on the last show that I made to come up with a catalog that is actually presented as if it was made by the Televisor Museum International. Part of the premise is if people would believe anything on TV, why wouldn't they believe anything is a TV? And they do.